lot of people just kind of collapse difficult problems into the most obvious example that they've already encountered in life. How do we treat men that are struggling? Well, it depends. Does the man that's struggling, that you're observing, trigger you in some way? Does he make you afraid? Does he inspire some sort of confusion leading to mockery and laughter? How are you treating people around you that are struggling? Just because half the population has bodies that can do damage to people and things, does that mean that we should condemn every person that happens to have a penis and some testicles and testosterone as dangerous just because they intimidate us a little bit? None of that's okay. I've been dealing with some of these kinds of perceptions. I've had a lot of really negative reactions from people not wanting to even talk to me or make eye contact. See, it's one thing to actually go up to someone and engage them and try to have a conversation. Maybe it doesn't go well. Maybe it's conflictual. That's actually okay. As long as people aren't getting violent, as long as people aren't just screaming insults at each other, it's okay to have conflict. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to feel emotions. Many of the cultural leaders at this point have lost their way. They've been captured. It's unfortunate. The funhouse mirror of these screens and the internet will twist everything out of proportion. So if you read about someone and you read some negative things about them, if everyone's piling on, here's a good rule to live by in the internet age. If that person is not openly defending themselves, if that person does not have a chance to face their accusers and explain whatever behavior might have been misunderstood or give their side of the story in a conflict, you should never take anything that's being thrown at a person at face value. You compromise your integrity and your soul with that. It happens all the time. There's all this one-sided convincing information about all sorts of people on the internet. It's part of the way that a lot of the larger media corporations make their bread and butter and survive. Even though they're crashing and burning, part of it is because of this practice. But in the short term, indulging this horrible part of humanity, just making assumptions, following your shallow emotional reactions, but not owning the emotional reactions, not engaging for conversation, negotiation, you're just being captured. And many, many people, good, intelligent, strong people who have stood up for what is right, ultimately, have become captured and are, stuck in a tribe. It's just hate and attack, and, well, it's very monetizable. You can make videos where you're criticizing and you're tearing someone down, and that's going to get you views. But I think that a lot of people don't understand that there's a cost to you and your soul, but a cost to the culture, a cost to society in the long run. We're degrading ourselves with this kind of behavior. So if you see a man out there on the street, whether it's me, and I'm walking funny, I don't drink during the day, I don't do hard drugs, I smoke cannabis, I drink coffee, I sometimes drink in the evenings, but not that often. I've just been struggling. I've just been dealing with hard shit that people get overwhelmed with, and I've been very overwhelmed, and I've been just scrambling to do my best to face my challenges and stand up with my responsibility to address those challenges, and I've had to come up on my own with a lot of ways to cope, a lot of ways to get through, whether that's playing Third Strike and talking shit loudly, or meditating, or the variety of staff exercises that I've developed that have produced incredible results in my body. But again, there's a culture war going on right now, and a lot of people have been sucked into this side or that side and can't see beyond the wall, unfortunately. And part of that culture war is modern martial arts versus traditional martial art. For me, I do these weird staff exercises, and maybe people think that that's strange or intimidating or goofy. Yeah, I do Qigong, and it's been one of the important ways that I've gotten through the death of both my parents, and especially, my own health issues, with my body in pain, cramping, and doing things with my face, expressing things that are not in my heart. And it becomes an issue in my relationships with people. Again, my face contorts and does weird shit that is a result of nerves, that is a result of scar tissue. It's not so much a result of what I'm feeling and thinking. And so I get all these strange reactions from people as they're consciously and unconsciously trying to read me. I get that on the street. I get that from people who know me, even, since this stuff with the face has gotten worse. So I'm sick of it. I'm going to be engaging with people. I'm going to be bursting bubbles, because there's a lot of people that seem to think that you can exist in this sort of safe space that the online world creates, where you can ignore people and block people and not engage or try to sort of edit people out of your world. Like, that's not reality. That's not how the public space works. Anybody can come up and talk to you, and just because you don't want to talk to them doesn't mean that they're going to leave you alone and just leave, because you can't delete people. See, this is part of what the online world has done to people, part of what it's taken from people and twisted in people. The ability to be in the same space, to even listen to someone that you don't understand and that you don't agree, and not taking it so horribly personal. This ability to actually just be with other people that have different opinions. So many folks are just losing it. And so many folks have become complacent because they can just sit in their echo chamber online, and they can tattletale to some authority about something that someone else said that they don't like, and get away with it and inflict things on others that just have a difference of opinion. But in the public sphere, in reality, that's not how it works. I've had some really unfortunate responses from the city that I live in because I have my face doing weird shit. It becomes a bit, disconcerting to try to go out into public when people react to you and assume certain things about your emotional state, your intentions, because of the way you appear. I might be kind of wobbling around a little bit. I might be stumbling on one leg. I might be kind of really bloated and wiggling around trying to get my digestion to move, or my face might be unbalanced and kind of not working on one side or contorted on one side. It doesn't mean that I have any ill intent towards anybody, but a lot of people have treated me like I do. And again, that's just making assumptions about men. And unfortunately, when men are struggling, people get afraid and people make assumptions and feel totally entitled to treat them badly, to treat them like they've done something wrong, or make them feel like they shouldn't be there, or that their words are bad in some way. Like, this is garbage. Guess what? When you have a conversation with someone that really upsets you, has a different opinion from you, maybe even diametrically opposed, the opposite opinion from you, when you speak to that person, you burst the bubble of hatred, and you get to meet your shadow. There's so many people out there that talk a good game about shadow, but seem to have let celebrity create this pocket that they're blind to, where shadow is growing, and they don't seem to be able to know how to meet their shadow again. It's like people have been fighting the dominant tribe, but have just become another tribe. When you fight monsters, you must be careful not to become a monster. And there's a lot of monsters fighting monsters out there. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Don't ignore people. If someone is doing something, especially a man, that you don't understand, be compassionate. Probably they're not trying to mess you up or do something wrong. Maybe they're just having a bad day. This is something a lot of people don't understand, is the pressure of physical pain, right? There's emotional pain. I've been experiencing that with, dealing with the death of parents. But before I had to deal with a lot of this stuff, I was struggling with a lot of physical pain. And when you're physically uncomfortable, you're just dealing with your own discomfort, but other people will treat you like there's something wrong. They can sense that. Some people will see it in parts of your body language and think it's about them when it's just about your own physical pain. Other people, it'll be unconscious, and they feel like something's wrong, or that you're bad, or that you're up to something. But it's just a person, and in this case, from what I'm talking about, it's a man who's making you feel uncomfortable because you're connecting with that person, all right? We are porous. We can feel what other people are feeling. I'm sorry if that's challenging to you. It's just true, okay? It's true. We all know it deeply, right? People just get uneasy, and it happens to me all the time because most days I'm pretty physically uncomfortable for at least part of the day. And that's unfortunately how I've had to live my life for a number of years. And I've gotten much better at dealing with it, not because of really hardly any other professional or person that's given me advice. I found a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about and make snap judgments when I try to explain what I'm dealing with. And it's very frustrating, and it makes it hard sometimes to be intimate with people, to get close to them, because they just project their misperceptions, their things that they've already experienced rather than listening.